Welcome to your March reading. Happy birthday to my dear March Pisces friends out there. So we're going to talk about some astrology first. We're going to talk about the astrology first, and then we're going to get in the cards. March is a really, really big month, and February was hard. I think that we're kind of used to, as a collective, we're like used to having difficult moments in astrology, and it kind of impacting our life in some way. And I think a lot of people sort of woke up to the whole astrology idea when the pandemic happened, and we had that Saturn and Pluto conjunction in Capricorn back in 2020, in January of 2020. So I think that a lot of people have been sort of waking up to the fact that astrology really is coinciding with the things that we're all going through, like on a regular basis. And life is hard right now. Like, things are not easy right now, and that's okay. Like, we so often get freaked out because life isn't going well. And in my meditation this morning, I realized just how calm and collected I've become in the face of chaos and adversity. Really didn't have much of a choice because it was either I was going to allow myself to suffer through everything, or I was going to allow myself to understand that life is just hard, you guys. Like, nobody promised that life was going to be easy peasy. It doesn't, like, yes, maybe money would make a little bit of life easier, or, there are certain things in each person's life where they see, like, this would make my life easier if I had it. And sometimes I feel like when we do that to ourselves, we're comparing our lives with something that we're not supposed to be comparing our lives to, whether it's another person's life, whether it's a life that we wish we had, whatever it is. Like, we do that comparing thing, and those kind of expectations are really hard to put on yourself. So with life being as hard as it is right now, and I just know that people are just kind of going through it. I really don't know anybody that's not going through something right now, whether it's big, whether it's small, it doesn't matter. Remember that as we get through these March transits, because March is bringing some really big life-changing energies into it. And these energies are going to be present for years. Like, it's not just a short change. And it all happens in the very beginning. The first part of March is going to be a little bit chaotic because we still have Mars in Gemini. And Mars has been in Gemini in your fourth house since August. Mars will be ingressing Cancer later on in March, but before he ingresses Cancer, he will square the Sun, he will square Mercury, he will square Neptune in Pisces, all in Pisces. And then he will go into Cancer, where he's going to square the Sun, and he'll square Jupiter and Chiron. So let's talk a little bit more about, like, we have Saturn moving into your first house. Saturn has been in your 12th house for the last 3 years. And while Saturn has been in your 12th house, you've probably been doing a lot of self-examination, and really finding that spiritual balance for yourself. Like, how much do I want to be a part of humanity? How much do I want to be a part of my own spiritual growth and my own spiritual progress versus whatever's happening with humanity? And as Saturn goes over the threshold, if you're a Pisces rising, it goes over the threshold of your ascendant, or if you're a Pisces sun and he's just moving into the house of wherever your Pisces sun is, there's a new beginning of internal growth. I have my notes down here, so I'm going to keep looking at them because I have chemo brain. So I have like Cancer brain. So I'm going to keep looking at my notes. A new beginning of internal growth is happening. You're learning new strengths about yourself through inner trials and inner tribulations. This is going to be a time where you really probably are going to pick yourself apart one by one, piece by piece, thread by thread. You'll be picking yourself apart. This is a great time for psychotherapy, human potential work, or consciousness raising. If you want to learn new things about yourself, now is the time to do that. You are tasked with unlearning all of the inaccurate ways of thinking about yourself, all of those dirty little things that you say to yourself, all those negative thought processes that you have for yourself. This is a time for you to learn how to remove all of that. And a lot of those things that are in your brain and all of those inaccurate responses that you have, like telling yourself you're stupid, telling yourself you're not good enough, whatever it is, the negative things that are going on in your brain that Saturn is asking you to leave behind, usually that came from another person. Like there's probably another person in your life that has said those kinds of things to you and it just stuck. We have the Virgo full moon happening the same day. So the Virgo full moon will be ushering this Pisces and Saturn. The Virgo full moon will be happening, I think it's at 16 degrees, I forgot, but I will be doing a video for the Virgo full moon as well. So this will be happening in your 7th house on the 7th of March. This is really going to fully expose any part of your relationships that need to be looked at and focused on. Jupiter will conjunct Chiron in your 2nd house mid-month. I think it's like the 14th of March is when that starts, and it's going to be for a little while. This is they're going to be conjunct at the 13th degree and the 14th degree, I believe. This is expansive personal healing and growth. You could really make peace with money or the relationships that you have with money. Aries equals new beginnings, so taking action, self-assertion. You may want to break out of your own comfort zone and do something different. But this Jupiter and Chiron conjunction will also be happening at a time with the Aries new moon that's happening on the 21st, and that'll also be happening in your 2nd house. So if you've been having problems with finances or you've been having issues with your self-esteem and finances, or maybe your external environment and your self-esteem, or things like that, like this Jupiter and Chiron conjunction is really going to help dig deep and find, again, with Saturn's help, gonna find out what those negative things you've been saying to yourself and like really clear that out so that you can rely more on the accurateness of who you truly are and not just the lies that you tell yourself. The 23rd, Pluto is moving into Aquarius, just dipping his toe into Aquarius just to feel what the waters are going to feel like. This will be happening in your 12th house. And this is going to be clearing out any old habits, any kind of psychic garbage that you've been holding on to. Pluto is about the death and rebirth cycle. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius this year until June, and then he will retrograde back to Capricorn until next February. I had it written anyways. So Pluto is just going to be dipping his toe in the water. That's why I'm not really like going to get deep into what this means, because I think that we're all sort of going to get an opportunity to see what Pluto in Aquarius means. Aquarius is about humanitarian efforts. Aquarius is about thinking about the bigger picture, not just thinking about ourselves. And it's also about like technology and modern technology. Aquarius rules modern technology as well. And our hopes and dreams and wishes and, all of that stuff that we can, I feel like what Pluto in Aquarius is going to do is remove that ultra independence that a lot of us have grown up as latchkey children, having that ultra independence and thinking that we could only take care of ourselves and that we're not going to ask for help. I feel like Pluto is going to be changing that culture for a lot of us, where we need community, and it's going to break down a lot of your old ways of thinking in that 12th house. And really help to redefine what that community work looks like, that spiritual community work for you guys specifically. Saturn, with Saturn in the first house and Pluto in the 12th house, by 2026, you'll be a completely different person as you remove all of your old habits and replace them with new ways of thinking and new ways of doing things in your life. And then we talked about Mars ingressing Cancer on the 25th. That means that Mars will finally be in your 5th house and out of your 4th house. Mars in Gemini since August has been very biting. It's very sharp. I know a lot of people that hurt themselves while Mars was in Cancer, or while Mars was in Gemini, like cut themselves with knives and stuff. So just it's going to be a more passive action, right? I have Mars in Cancer natally. And a lot of people would say that this is a passive aggressive placement. It can very well be. Where Mars in Gemini is like, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and I'm not going to mince my words. I became friends, like acquaintances with a lot of people. And then by the beginning of Gemini, like just the Gemini, Mars and Gemini transit, I met people and became acquaintances with them. And then I lost those same people and had to cut them off because of toxic things. Like it was a very weird transit. So whatever it brought to you, I enjoyed the Gemini Mars transit because I learned. So I read probably like 4 or 5 books during that time frame from August until now. I'm still reading a couple of them, but man, I learned a lot. And started my shaman apprenticeship during that time. So Mars and Gemini was a good thing, but definitely going to be glad to have like that watery vision come back, watery vision. Okay. Let's see what your surrender card is for March. Let's see. Pisces surrender card for March. Surrender to divine timing. Oh, what a great card. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. I know so many people that hate the words divine timing, and I get it. I totally get it. But honestly, when you do that 2020 thing, that hindsight is 2020, you can see how divine timing comes into your life and like makes everything better. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough for you, according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Okay. That's a great message. Surrender to divine, and getting these readings out for these readings was really nice to do. I haven't done that in a long time. So all right, okay, some of you are going through a breakup and recognizing that you give too much. And it's just time to heal. So we have the 3 of Swords. We have the King of Wands. We have the Hierophant. We have the 10 of Swords. And we have the 4 of Swords. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, guys. Some of you are going through a breakup. For some of you, your marriage is over. A fire sign could be a Taurus also. But I feel like if the breakup or something happened in February, this is that month that, like, March is going to be the month that you heal. I always say that Pisces season is such a healing time. And it's the same for this year. Like every year, Pisces is in my 6th house. So that is the house of health. And I sleep a lot during Pisces season. And I eat a lot during Pisces season. And I really just allow myself to kind of recoup. I still do my work, but I don't like the way that I used to do my work, where I would work myself to the bones and I would get sick. I don't do that anymore. I don't work myself and work myself and work myself. I work as much as I can and then I stop. And I feel like that's what the universe is asking you to do. This definitely feels like there's a breakup with either a fire sign or a Taurus. Could even be the ending of a marriage as well. But that Three of Swords feels very painful. And then we have the Ten of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. There's a saying that the energy that you give to someone, what is the cheesy way they say it though? Hold on a second. Your energy flows where your attention goes. I like that phrase, but I like it even better when we think about how much we're giving our energy to a situation that no longer deserves our energy, right? So the Ten of Swords is really about an ending, and a lot of times that ending can be projected into something terrible, and that's what happens with the Ten of Swords, because swords are our thoughts, and this would be us projecting the worst possible case scenario into whatever situation you're in. This doesn't have to be a relationship being over. This could also be like that, but it definitely feels like somebody's hurting your feelings. And so that Four of Swords is asking you to rest and to heal. It's a meditative time. It's a time to focus on ourselves. And then the Six of Pentacles here is asking you, where are you placing your energy? Are you giving it to situations and experiences that you no longer need to be giving it to, or are you conserving it? This is going to be a great time to conserve your energy and not waste your energy. Let's see what the Three of Swords, what we clarify with this Three of Swords. King of Wands. Oh yeah, okay. Okie dokie. Six of Cups. Okay, so if somebody comes back from your past, I don't feel like it's a positive encounter. I do feel with this Six of Cups on the Three of Swords that you really had a strong connection with this person, maybe even had years with them, and which is understandable, totally understandable, but it's over. We have the Death card on the King of Wands. It could be a Scorpio energy that you're dealing with, but also this Death card is that transformation. Something is definitely ending with this Ten of Swords and that Death card. And as we transition from February to March and we get into those heavier energies, like astrological energies of March, I want you to recognize that the things that need to fall away. Oftentimes we hold on to stuff so tightly because we don't want something to fall away, or we, in our minds, we think that this is what we're supposed to have, or this is what we're supposed to be doing, when in reality, the universe is like, no, friend, you got to go to another direction. And that's what this is. This is a total course correction. Again, because we have the Tower here on the Hierophant, you could be dealing with a Taurus. You could be dealing with a marriage that's ending. For some of you, this is about societal beliefs falling apart. Like, the world is heavy right now. Weariness, lots and lots of weariness. That could be a thing that's happening. So 10 of Swords. Four of Swords. And the Six of Pentacles. Here we are. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Cups. Okay, so your wishes are present. Your wishes are present. And I feel like I need to say it that way because a lot of times when we get wrapped up in our mind and projecting things, which it does look like that's what's happening for you guys, a lot of times when we get wrapped up in our mind and we start projecting things, we're not in the present moment. And being in the present moment is going to be very advantageous for you guys. Hold on a second. Let me see if It's okay. See if like closing some things might stop the glitching. We'll see. Okay. 5 of Swords with the 10 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is that lack mentality. You could be feeling very guilty about whatever situation you're in. The thing is if it's good for you, there shouldn't be any guilt standing in your way of doing something that's right and that's good for you. Okay? So really, a lot of the painful stuff that you think is going to be happening is really in your mind. A lot of it is in your mind. And you can easily project that pain into your reality. We call that suffering, but you don't have to, right? Again, 8 of Swords with the 4 of Swords. When you get in your own way, the 8 of Swords is a self-imposed imprisonment of the mind. When you get in your own way, it's time to take a step back. When you're getting in your own way and you're letting your mind control your life, it's time for you to do some healing. Okay? And then we have, and so much, you guys, like if you're constantly giving to that earth sign or you're constantly, if you're not getting a break from that, you either need to be, some of you are the earth sign. Some of you have earth in your chart and you need to be giving back to yourself. But that's why things are collapsing. And that's why things are ending, because the distractions that you've had in your life up until now have been taking away from focusing on you. And a lot of those distractions are life, work, relationships, family members, friendships. There's so many things. So you may find yourself very self-isolating during this Saturn in Pisces transit. I do have a couple more Saturn in Pisces personal readings if you would. Those are available as well. I love you guys. Keep your dreams in focus. We have the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. That's where we want to move towards, okay? I love you guys. Have a wonderful March and a great birthday.